Hi, I'm Mr. Leitner. Welcome to the Eagles Nest. Tonight, Coda Bank is going to be our sponsors, so thank you, Coda, for sponsoring this broadcast. We're going to be talking to our Allstate winners tonight. We're excited to bring that to you. They worked really hard this season and have enormous talent, so it's great to have them recognized on a stage like we did for the other award winners, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it is. We have Jackson John tonight, first team All-State linebacker, and Jaden Lee, first team All-State defensive back.
Well, and just like like the first two episodes, we're excited to bring this episode to you of our awards, so sit back, get some popcorn, and enjoy it. All right, we're back with Jackson Johnson, junior linebacker tight end for the Eagles. He's all-region athlete out of Region 2, football player, and he's also first team All-State. Jackson, I know you're super excited when you heard the news that you're going to be an All-State player. Can you just talk about what that actually means to you to be labeled as one of the best football players in North Dakota?
You know, it's an honor. I can't just take all the credit. It especially comes up front with the D-line taking care of those lead blockers, so then that clears everything up for the linebackers. So I can't take all the credit for that.
Well, yeah, you were a consummate team player. You'd never complain about your role in the team. Coach, he did have some great stats, so let's talk about them.
Yeah, we'll go over some stats. Offensively, Jackson receiving 10 catches, 205 yards, a 20.5 yard average, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, where Jackson was the first team All-Stater here, 109 tackles, 4 tackles for losses, 6 pass breakups, a couple sacks, okay? Just all around defensively, just a heck of a year.
Did he have 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns? Is that what it was?
Yes, he had a total of 4 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns, and the very first touchdown of the year for us against North Prairie.
Okay, well, let's talk about that play for a second. We're playing North Prairie. Of course, it's a scoreless game. We're down on the other end of it. They're in the red zone. They throw the ball there, and how in the heck he got in position for this, I'm not sure. It wasn't even his guy that he's supposed to be covering, but he stepped in the way of the pass, runs it back 85 yards for a touchdown. Jackson, that's kind of where you established yourself as one of the premier players in the region against a premier team. So talk about that moment a little bit for us.
Well, I was just pretty much in the right position at the right time, and there's kind of just fell right into my hands and took it to the house.
Now I'm going to say it didn't quite fall right in his hands. Either the guy did a little crossing route, Jackson sees the ball in the air, steps in, picks it up about at his knees, before it hits the ground, and goes, 89, 90 yards?
Yeah,
for a touchdown there. Yep. So it was a very good defensive play there.
Of course, offensively, Jackson, you were known primarily as a blocker, tons of blocks. Of course, our running backs, our passing game doesn't have the success without you there blocking. But at times, you still could catch the football too. In other teams, maybe you would have been featured more prominently in the passing games. With all the playmakers that we had, both rushing and receiving, that just wasn't your role in the team. You always did well at accepting the role that you were given on the team. I'm just wondering, is there any particular reason why you were so accepting of the roles that you had?
Well, I was just relying on the team. I knew they could get the job done. I knew if I got my job done, they would get theirs done. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Just they would take care of it for me.
Okay, now we didn't talk about this yet. We have the All-State team. As far as a position group that was the toughest to be on, if it wasn't running backs, it would have been the linebacking core. There was probably 30, 40 kids up for All-State linebacker. And fun fact for you guys, and this is an incredible statistic, there was only 3 underclassmen that were named to the team. Jackson Johnson is one of them. 1 sophomore and 2 juniors. All the rest of them from the first team.
Yep.
For the first team, we're all seniors. So Jackson, incredible accomplishment, and looking back now and realizing how selective a group it was to be one of only 3 juniors or sophomores to be able to get that award. It obviously has to mean a lot to you.
Oh yeah, it means a bunch to me. From last season, not even getting an honorable mention for being on the region team and then being first team Allstate my junior year. It's incredible.
All right, well, you mentioned it, Coach, we happened to be talking about this earlier. Jackson Johnson, again, he's led the team in receiving, I think, his freshman year. Last year, he really set the stage for being one of the very good linebackers in the region, but this year he takes the next step in his evolution, is now one of the best linebackers, football players in the state. So let's talk about his development.
Freshman year, Jackson, we had you playing safety, I believe.
Safety and corner.
Safety and corners freshman year. Sophomore year, we're playing him at corner, kind of some safety hybrid, and then we needed a linebacker, so we slide Jackson into linebacker, and it just kind of fit right away.
Yeah.
Much more comfortable. Still got to be in coverage, but not as much. Jackson, not many 6'5" kids that weigh, 185 or a hitter like Jackson. He wants to come up and hit you, okay? So that's kind of how we're there. Jackson was having a real good season last year. About 3/4 of the way through, had an injury, missed a few games, came back just for the last game, played just a little bit. Fun fact, Jacob, his brother, threw his last pass to Jackson. The last pass he ever threw was to Jackson. So that's, that fun things like that happen. This year we leaned on Jackson pretty hard at that linebacker spot. He became one of our captains this year and really worked hard in the off season and had a tremendous year. 109 tackles, you're averaging in 10 games, that's quite an average. And Jackson is too humble at times, which we want all of our players, to lean on the other guy, but, just played tremendous this season in everything he did. So, question for you, Jackson. Favorite play of yours of the year? Explain it to us here, and we're going to put it on film here, while you're talking us through this.
Probably 4th and 15 and against North Star in Pembina. It was the 4th quarter. We had to march down the field to get the lead back. Came 4th and 15, ran a little out route. Cooper rolled out to the side, and he threw a diving. He had to throw a pass that I had to dive for, right along the sideline for a first down.
Well, yeah, of course, I'm not watching the play right here in my mind. I'm just remembering Cooper kind of being rushed and throwing that up, and I'm just thinking from the sideline, geez, I don't know if anybody can get it, and all of a sudden, just you're there, and how you crouch right down and get that. It's right underneath the crow's nest. We got a nice view of it, and everybody on the sideline said, no, seriously, legit, the kid caught the football. And the guy who had the best view of it was the official, and he said he did too. So just an amazing play, just the play itself. But combine that with the moment, how we needed to win that game against North Star to kind of get our legitimacy. Of course, after we had lost the game against Cavalier and we're trying to establish our pecking order in the region, just to come out and make the play, it helps catapult us into the victory seat against North Star and really gets this whole thing kick-started. Without that catch, I don't know exactly where our season would have gone, because that would have been a pretty devastating loss to a very good football team.
Yeah, and we were up by quite a bit, and we got down, had to come back and win, and that was kind of a turning point for our season right there, is that, that we were down, we come back and, win, with just a couple minutes to go in the game.
Jackson, do you want to give any shout-outs to anybody that might be watching at home, or anybody that you have to thank for, the position that you find yourself in and the success that our football had this year? Anybody out there, a few people that you want to say hi to or just thank for helping you get this far?
Well, first of all, I want to thank my older brother, Jacob. He pushed me a lot during off-season and in the season. I didn't want to do something. He would make me do it just to make me my best. My mom and dad pushed me hard too. Little brother would even get out there and play catch with me just to help me out. So, yeah, I want to thank them.
Okay, so now my fun question for you. Now, maybe this is, it's a question. Now, Jarek tells me he's the head wood splitter at home. He's the guy in charge of filling the wood, the outstar wood stove and everything. Now, or is you the guy that does this now?
He deals with putting wood in the stove.
Okay.
I'm usually the one that splits it. He moves it for me.
So let me get this right. Jared sits in the skid steer, and then you do all the heavy work.
Somewhat.
Okay, that's what I thought. Jared was trying to tell me he did a lot of the grunt work, but it's more or less you and Jarek.
Yeah.
And Jaylin.
Sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So just so we got that right, Jared, we did find out they do most of the work. So.
Yeah, well, and I know I've talked to your parents since the announcement that you were going to be first team All-State, and they're just really happy for you, and they know you worked really hard for this. Not only do you work hard on the football field, you work hard in the classroom too. So you're a very good role model, like all of our football players are that we had on tonight for the younger kids, and I know you're excited for your sister and her athletic career and school career, and then also your younger brother too.
Yeah.
So we certainly haven't heard the last of the Johnsons. They're still going to be around here for many years to come, and I know we're excited about that. Especially Jacob too, and he kind of did set that mark with his career that he had too. Very successful career for the Eagles. Coach, anything you want to add?
This winter, what are the plans and going into spring for athletic, what you're going to be doing athletically?
I'm going to be playing basketball, really try and work in that. We had a couple seniors missing from last year, so we got to make up for that, some of us younger guys. So we're really going to have to work this year in basketball.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it'll be a very up-tempo team. We have a very athletic team, and we expect to be very competitive in the region again. I know you and the rest of the basketball guys are looking forward to that. So, all right. So I'm sure we'll see on all kinds of highlights the rest of the year too. So, all right. Well, Jackson, thanks a lot for being here. Congratulations, being named first team All-State again. What an incredible accomplishment. Again. Go Eagles. All right, we're back with Jaden Lee. Jaden had a phenomenal season. He is awarded All-Region out of Region 2, which is an honor in and of itself. On Sunday night, it became official, 7 o'clock. Jaden Lee made first team All-State at cornerback position. So Jaden, can you talk about when you found out about that, being first team All-State, what that meant to you, and can you tell the audience about that moment?
It's a big accomplishment to achieve, the whole state being one of the top players. Just hearing that really, I don't know, it's an achievement, it really is.
Now that was a goal going into the season,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Coach, let's talk about, of course, he played running back. The position he made All-State at was cornerback, but just had a great season overall.
Yes. Offensively, let's go first. 179 carries, 1,166 yards. Now listen to this, 6.5 average per rush with 11 touchdowns. Great statistics. And Jaden will be the first guy to admit that offensive line and Eli blocking for you really helped. Tell us about that.
They were great this year. Eli, he's a tank at fullback. If he's leading through the hole, there's no linebacker that's going to hit me right at the line. That gets me into their secondary to get at least 5 yards of run. And the line this year, just all their schemes and working in practice, they worked hard. It really came together this year.
Now defensively, Jaden's in on 60 tackles, okay, and 4 interceptions and 1 return for a touchdown. 18 pass breakups. Okay. I tell Jaden, every once in a while he goes, "Can I play linebacker this week? I'd want to hit somebody." He goes, "It's getting lonely out there." Well, that's because he's playing such a good cornerback. They're not throwing the ball towards him.
Yeah. Now, offensively or defensively, what was your favorite position?
I do like locking players up, not letting them catch the ball. But at the same time, it's fun to hold the ball and run with it on the offensive side. Just make the big plays.
All right, now Jaden, the thing that I find most interesting about you, I'm going to lead it up to a story, but I'm going to ask you a question about it. So it's my first year here in North Border. I'm actually driving girls volleyball. I think we went to Niche or Pembina one night. I get back, it is still light enough that, you know, a person could be outside, except it's raining just terribly. It's just a downpour. And I look outside, you know, like I said, this is first part of September, maybe even August. I look outside, there's this kid shooting baskets on the outside the Walhalla School, and I'm like, who in the heck is this kid? This must be somebody that graduated last year, because he's a big kid. It's like, I can't even remember him being in our school, and of course he can't play football because there's football practice going on at the moment. It's your sophomore year. I find out who you are, that you decided you weren't going to go out for football that year. I brought you into my office, and I said, well, why aren't you out for football? And I said, you know, I heard you had a brother that's pretty successful. I mean, I'm looking at you, you're 6'1" and 200 pounds, you know, I mean, those are all state qualities there. You know, I know you took a year off from football, and a lot of times that hurts a player's development. In your particular case, I think the year off cleared your mind and made you a better football player and make you appreciate what you have when you step out onto the field. So I'm wondering, am I right in my assessment there that it helped clear your mind, and talk about what exactly that year off did for you, and how you became more focused in not just football but in everything at life?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The year off, I just took time. I was a little lazy, and I didn't like contact. That's part of the reason I didn't play football. But after my sophomore year off, and thinking about my freshman season and how fun it was.
Because Jaden was a starter as a freshman for us, defensive.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know, I just started to think about it, and started getting into the gym, started lifting more, and all of a sudden it came back around to me that I just want to get back on the field. You know, it's a sport that you don't get to play again. Basketball, you can play a pickup game 5-on-5. You'll never get to put pads on it anywhere again. It's really, if you don't play in high school, you're never going to get the opportunity again. So I just wanted to play.
Yeah, I know. Just an awesome moment for the first time I meet you in my office, talking about how you can be an Allstate player, and then all of a sudden now, a few years later, I'm telling you congratulations because you actually did it. Just a surreal moment for me, and I didn't even accomplish the feat. So I know that feels really good for you though too, Jaden. Coach, can you talk a little bit about what Jaden's leadership meant to this team?
Yeah, Jaden, you know, as a freshman, he started for us. We were decent that season. I think we were 3 wins or 4 wins or something. Made the playoffs that freshman year. Sophomore year, he comes to a couple practices, decides not to play. You know, and we've had that happen. And I told Jaden, I saw him in school. He tried to avoid me for the first few days, which I wouldn't let him. And I said, hey, no harm, no foul. I'm not holding it against you. You know, we still have a good relationship. And then the next fall, he doesn't. He's working out. He doesn't join our little combine we have, but which is fine. I get a text from him. I'll be there first day of practice. I was like, great. And Jaden stepped back in, and we picked up off like you never missed. You know, it was no big deal. You know, it was great. He came back and played, and a little bit of injury trouble last year.
Yeah.
You know, we had some quad issues there a little bit. So, but this year when, you know, I see Jaden at the golf course, first day of practice, he shows up, and you can tell that he spent a lot of time in the gym. And Jay Sorgan talked about that. You and him spent a lot of time in the gym together, and good leader. And you know, he kept telling, he texts me every once in a while, hey, we got to work a little harder. You got to, you know, get after us a little bit. So very good leader this year. Took on the role as you know, that running back for us, one of our captains for us this year, and you know, just an excellent player.
Well, I got to tell you too, and I remember it well, when Coach saw me, and when you decided you're a junior to go back out for football, remember Coach Archie come up to me and said, "Oh, Jaden Lee's back, and he's gonna be something." So he was really super excited to get you back there, and I know the rest of the guys were too, and just glad you could have that experience, and realizing what it's like when you don't have that experience, and then missing it, and then getting a chance to have it back. Because a lot of people don't get that opportunity. A lot of people might quit maybe during their senior year and regret it. Now there's not another chance to go back. So anybody out there that's ever a senior thinking about quitting, I just recommend, no matter how hard it is, stick it out, because you never know what's going to happen. By the time you're a senior, you physically develop a lot too, so you never know the mark you're going to have, or even just the moment, even just being involved in a team. It's just a great experience for you.
Now, a couple fun questions for you. What is your favorite play of the year? We need to know the team and the play. So talk us through it, because we're going to put it up, as you're talking here, we're going to put it up here.
Yep. So my favorite play was probably in our New Rockford game, which is that game was my best game of my career. I had over 300 all-purpose yards that game. I think it was my second touchdown. We were in Pembina going towards the school, and we called the power right, and I took it right, and everything closed up, and I gave a little cut back, ran back down to the left sideline all the way up to I got the touchdown, and so somebody got a picture of that one, and Schultz is in the back with his arms straight up, looking funny, and it was just a good picture.
Yeah, I remember what you're playing, because in huddle, I do have it marked. We talk about the backside guys keep blocking, and Jackson picks up 2 blocks because he's getting downfield, and you cut back, and he seals it. So we always talk about make sure you're doing your job all the way through the play, and that's why. So, no, that was a big one. Now, the fun question for you. We know you shot a big deer, right?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you got to tell us the truth. Who got the deer? Was it you? Did you get the hands dirty, or was it Mitch, your dad?
I shot the deer. I didn't gut the deer, but I shot it. Little story. I had the rifle. It was cold out, and we saw him back in the brush, and so we had him on camera, and my dad's like, "That's him. Get the rifle out the window." So it's probably 15 degrees out, and we open the window up and get the rifle out. Well, he decides to lay down behind a doe in the brush, and I'm sitting there in the cold weather with the rifle out the window for 2 hours before he walks out. And when he comes out, the doe starts to move, and he starts to trot out, and I hit him on the trot, and I dropped him mid-step.
Okay, so but getting back to the actual question.
I shot the deer.
You shot the deer.
Yeah.
But did Mitch offer up to let you gut it? Or did you just say, "Dad, this is just..."
Well, I was, he was going to gut the deer, and I wasn't even going to try.
Oh, so you were like, "Here you go, Dad."
He told me that he's got to teach me someday. But
Yeah, we're graduating high school. It might be time to learn that.
oh yeah, I'll shoot plenty more. I don't miss.
All right, now I got a question too. We had our H2O specialist on one day, right? I don't know if you watched the show. I think you probably did. All right, and one of the H2O specialists, Oakley Brown, said that you were his favorite football player. All right. Now we know Oakley plays a little bit of football himself.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what kind of football player you think he can develop into from what you've already seen of him so far.
Well, watching him in elementary, he's laid some hard hits on the little kids, and he's a fast kid. I'll give him that. He knows how to juke kids out, and I think he's going to turn into a nice running back when the time comes.
Okay, well, all right. Well, we'll find out, and this clip will be forever stored on YouTube, so we'll be able to see if your prediction comes true or not. I know I'm excited for that, and all the H2O specialists. They're kind of the unsung heroes, and what did it mean to you to always have proper hydration whenever you had timeouts?
Oh yeah, it's water. I always needed water. I sweat so much, and I'm always out of breath. I played almost every play of the season if I wasn't hurt or having problems, and usually never came out of the game. So having that water right there really helped a lot.
And congratulations again, first team All-State defense, which you were probably maybe hoping to be on that offense, but defense, 18 pass breakups, some interceptions there. Your Carter Brown was the last first team All-Stater we had. So it means a lot to have two of you guys on this year. Yourself and Jackson Johnson, who we'll see in a bit here. So
Yeah, it's a very select team. Jaden, you had just a great season for us, great career at football. We are just super excited to see basketball too.
Oh yeah.
Because we know the Eagles are going to be great. So can you talk about, now we're moving to the winter sports season, how excited are you for what's about to happen?
I can't wait. For a while when Bergam set everything back to December 14th, I was a little worried that we'd lose some games, and just playing later it feels like it'd take us out of the groove a little bit, and I'm glad we're back on track, and I'm super excited for this season.
now Jaden is an all-region player for basketball last year for the Eagles, and we're going to play a sport in the spring, or what are we doing?
We're gonna golf in the spring.
Yeah, he already announced that on the show. He's going to come golf when we interview, or when I interviewed him at the senior spotlight there. So yeah, we're excited for that. We're definitely excited for the basketball season. We're just having a great senior year here at North Border for you, Jaden. You're one of the big reasons why. Coach, anything else you got to say?
Just for all you out there watching it, your kids are watching it, if you take a year off, you can come back and play. I mean, Jaden is a testament to that. Like I said, we've talked about me and Jaden multiple times about it, and one of the reasons he did come back and play is for that camaraderie with the other guys.
Yeah.
It is a special thing, isn't it? Football is that team where where you have most of the guys out there at one time, and so come out and play. Just proud of him how he grew, from his freshman year all the way through, and he set a goal at the beginning of the year, be an All-Stater, and he made it.
All right, Jaden, thank you for your season. Thanks for being on the show. And it's just been great to see your example for everybody, the younger kids in particular, and for somebody that they can look up to.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
All right, thanks again.
Well, Coach, it was great to talk to Jackson and Jaden tonight about their season and talk about some other things too. So I'm glad we could present that to everybody, and they're both great kids and students.
Yeah, they are both great kids, and like Jackson talked about in his, he couldn't do it without the rest of the team, but these two, they're pretty modest, but they do really work hard. You can tell that they really worked hard over the summer and got bigger and faster and stronger, and just a great couple kids to have represent us on the All-State team.
Now, we do have another episode coming out that'll be our final show for football, and we're excited to bring that to you. There's going to be some cool things, some secret, some maybe we could talk about, but it'll be a really cool show for you. Be able to get some of our end of the year highlights and some other stats and everything. Just a cool way to cap off the year.
That's going to be fun to cap the year off with kind of a highlight show, and don't forget, basketball and wrestling are going to be coming up. We're going to be getting those involved and those coaches in here to talk to us, and more senior spotlights as we go out the season.
Yeah, we're excited to bring that to you the rest of the year. There's been a lot of good compliments about this show, and I know many people watch it when we put it out. So thank you to our viewers for that, and as a nice way to recognize all the great students that we have here in North Border. Go Eagles!